going on, guys? I want to talk about some outer space type information today. I want to talk about ET hybrids. I want to talk about what they represent, what they signify, and basically what you can expect if you ever encounter one. What I mean by ET hybrid is extraterrestrial human, okay, like us, where the DNA comes from other planets. Can be mixed with Earthen DNA, can be mixed with other planetary DNA outside of our world. And hybrid means that it's, you know, more than one. It's a genetic splice. And the crazy part about it is that people think that ET hybrids are going to look a lot different than us. They don't. They don't. They look very, very similar to us. In fact, one of the ways that you can notice them that might not be outwardly apparent in the beginning is that their physical appearances are slightly different than our earthen dominated DNA here. For example, you have Pleiadians. Their eyes are usually wider. The spread of their eyes is usually wider. So if you notice that, you got a lot of Pleiadian DNA. Also, their body structure, their limbs, their legs, their skulls, their shoulders, their chest, back, everything can be very can be proportioned very differently than Earthen DNA. Earthen DNA tends to be very elegant, very mathematical, very Arnold Schwarzenegger type. It's very appealing to the eye. It's very geometric. It looks beautiful. Not to say that their physical structures do not look beautiful, but the mathematics of it, the overall look of it is a little off. Sometimes the ETs will have, or the hybrids will have hands that are much bigger, that don't look appropriate with the size of the rest of their body. Sometimes they'll have longer limbs, like for example your forearm here will be average size for Earthen DNA, and then their upper arm will be extremely long. So it gives a very different aesthetic. It gives a very non-geometric, non-precise, mathematically derived feature, which means that if you were to see a sculpture, okay, like the ones in Rome and the ones that dominate Italy, their sculptures would be a little bit off from what you actually see there. They just aesthetically, they just look different. They might have, ET hybrids might have wider shoulders, okay, than Earthen DNA. Earthen DNA has a very picturesque look to it. Everything is very proportioned. Everything is very balanced. And that's why I was talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, because as a bodybuilder, I mean, he's the top of the top. And his body is very symmetrical, it's very geometric, and it looks very appealing. Another thing with the ET hybrids that you'll notice right away is that they are very, very, very smart. They're super, super smart. There are ways that they communicate. Someone's talking to me right now telepathically, telling me, yeah, go ahead, talk. Their way of communicating is a lot of times indirect. There's a lot of innuendo. There's a lot of references. There's a lot of little bullet points that are hitting you subconsciously, not consciously. So they'll say things to you, and for example, they might use a sentence with, Joey went to the store and bought red apples, okay? This might say that to you, well, a week ago, you were at the store buying red apples. And not only did you buy the red apples, but you sat there and took a lot of time looking for the precise apples. They'll do that. They'll do that because they can metaphysically look through time. They can metaphysically go and look at things. They can use their technology to go and look at things. So that adds to the allure of them. It also adds to their intelligence levels, because some of the things that they come out with are stunning, brilliant, and 100% accurate. It's a little intimidating. It's a little scary to hang out with some of them because they're just on another level. They're just on another level. As far as intelligence, as far as intuitive abilities, and as far as just an overall comprehension factor. They're very advanced, they're very intelligent. Another thing that you're going to notice is that they have the ability, okay, to look into your soul a little bit. They have the ability to see things that you might have done, you know, years and years and years and years and years ago. And they might bring that factor up, which is a little shocking. It's a little, throws you back a little bit, but it's a good thing. And that basically is, you know, in a small, short summarization, that's what you're going to find. And they usually will have different methods of communicating. They have different languages. They might have different hand signals. That's my dog. They might have eye gestures, facial gestures that communicate things. So it's communication on a level that is has so much more breadth than our current system here on Earth that it's quite inspiring, actually. So those are a few parameters or indicators or characteristics where if you meet a hybrid, okay, if you talk to one, because they're walking around this planet, okay, you just aren't seeing them. You aren't seeing them. If you ever have someone that comes up to you and just says something a little odd, okay, that's a hybrid. If you see someone that might be doing something that might be a little odd, that's a hybrid. I mean, I was walking out of the post office one time, and I saw a hybrid that had these real tucked in shoulders, super long arms, and these hands that were overly big. And I was like, oh, that's, you know, that's a hybrid. It's an over exaggerated form. And then when they talk to you, the look in their eyes is very different. Their eyes are very different. There's a depth to them. There's a soul to them, and you can tell if you know what you're looking for that, oh, you know, this person doesn't come from around here. And that's how you usually find them, is feeling that, you know, are you from a different state? Are you from a different country? Well, no, they're from a different planet. So, you know, hopefully today I've given everyone, and these videos that I do not prep these videos. I do not write scripts for these videos. This is the first take on this video, and it all comes from the top of my head. It all comes from my soul. It all comes from, you know, places that that are me. And I just wanted to share that today. Comment in the comment section, guys. Also, there's another YouTube channel that I'm starting. I will put the link in the description box. So if you could please go and subscribe over there, and because I'm going to have 2 channels now. And I would truly, really appreciate that. All right. Thanks for listening. Have a good week.